Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Alright, so today we're going to be going over bends because someone asked about how do you bend. I see you're bending in your other videos and you're not telling us how to bend. So I will go over that real quick. Your harmonica, which is going to be a 10-hole diatonic. I have mine in the key of C, but you can do it obviously in every key. But we're going to start off with the key of C. To bend, you can do draw bends on the holes 1 through 6 and blow bends on holes 7 through 10. So holes 1 through 6 each have at least one bend, except the 5, which is not really a bend because you don't have a half step between your 5 blow and your 5 draw. It's only one note. So when you're bending your 5, it doesn't really get all the way down there. But so 1 through 4 and 6 at least have one half step bend. One has one, hole 2 has 2 bends, hole 3 has 3 bends, hole 4 has 1 bend, hole 6 has 1 bend. So that's all. Don't even worry about that for now. Let's just get to it. We have all these notes here, and on holes 1 through 4 you don't have your major scale totally. You don't have the total major scale. That's the 7 notes that you would be able to. So in order to get those notes, you need to use bends. How do you do that? Okay, so real quick, I'm gonna do it, then describe it, then try to do it again, and be a nice quick video. So on hole 1, let's just see what we have. So I'm going from my 1 draw to my 1 draw bend. Alright, so that's 1 bend. So let's try 2. That has 2 bends. On 3. That has 3 bends. Okay, so how are you going to do that? In your mouth, as you're drawing and blowing, your tongue needs to do pretty much all the work. So you want to, this is your tongue when you are just playing a regular note. Alright? Now, when you want to bend it, you want to put the back of your tongue in sort of, you know when you have a scratch at the top of the roof of your mouth? And you just want to like scratch it a little bit? So you want to kind of do that. So just put the harmonica in your mouth. And it'll come out kind of weird at first. You see how that sounds like? But you're getting something to move around. So basically what that happens is when you're scratching the top roof of your mouth, your tongue is going like this. And it's directing the airflow up and over your tongue. Now what that does is when it restricts the airflow, the reed that's vibrating starts getting, well, bent. It starts actually interacting with the reed under it, and they're both moving at they're both moving at an unnatural way, which is how the bend comes out. So you want the airflow to go up and over the top. You don't want it to go through the side, you don't want it to go under, you want it to go up and over the top. So do that, you just, like I said, you're going to scratch the roof of your mouth, or like a coo sound, like coo coo coo, like you're pronouncing a word with a K in the beginning. But you're going to be sucking in while you're doing that. So you're not going, you're actually going. So instead of blowing it, you're sucking it in. So that's what makes it a little difficult, because it's pretty unnatural for regular people that don't play harmonica or have never tried this before. So when you're doing that inside, it should come out like that. It should just, even if you get any bend, you could try the 3, you could try the 4, you could try the 6, anywhere around there. As long as the note goes lower in pitch, that means you're doing it right. So that's the 3. That's 3 bends. And to get there, to actually distinguish between those 3 bends is very difficult. Once you have those down, you have to be able to distinguish, okay, when I put the harmonica in my mouth, I want to be able to play right there, 3-hole half-step bend. That's the major pentatonic scale we went over in another video if you want to check that one out. But that is how you got to get there. You have to get it spot on every time. And once you get it spot on every time, you can play the major scale in your first position on your lower notes. So if you have your major scale in the middle of the harmonica, right, very easy. I'll even throw that in the description below. and then you have it on your lower notes. Even there, actually, the 3 didn't come out perfect. It came out okay. That was much better. So now you have those 2 octaves, and then the last octave is pretty similar to the first one. But the bending is a pretty difficult thing to do on the harmonica, and it's actually, in my opinion, the most important thing, because if your bends don't sound good, you don't sound good at all. You could be playing some song and you will totally, I call it ruining the funeral, if you're playing like Amazing Grace or something and you just can't bend. It just comes out sour. Like if let's say you're playing Danny Boy, right? Right? If you don't hit that bend perfect, like right there I actually got a little nervous. I thought I wasn't going to make it. But if you don't hit it perfect, it's going to sound absolutely horrendous. No. Bad. Very bad. Not enough. See? So you need to be able to get it right in that center. But all we want to do now is just get bends in general. So like I said, you make that coo sound while you're over the harmonica. You can tongue block it, you can lip purse it, it doesn't matter. As long as you're kind of sucking in. Don't suck it, actually. Draw it or breathe it in. And you want that airflow to go up and over the tongue. Over the tongue. On the roof of your mouth. Like you're trying to scratch it. I got to scratch on the roof of my mouth. Let me scratch it. It's kind of like that. But or you can make like a K sound. They're both the same. They're both going to do the same thing. So let's just quickly go over the bends. One has 1 bend. 1 hole has 1 bend. 2 hole has 2 bends. I'm also playing the natural note and then bringing it down. 3 hole has 3 bends. Sounds good. 4 hole has 1 bend, which is the same as your 1 hole, but it's also your blues, kind of bluesy, wailing note. That's your 4 hole. But you can go into that like with a real bluesy, or whatever you're doing. Your 5 hole has not a half step, but it does have kind of like an inflection bend, because there's not enough. There's no note between 5 blow and 5 draw. So that's what it'll sound like. But it sounds good if you're doing sort of like a swinging William Clark. Something like that. So sounds good. And then your 6 hole has 1 bend. And that's good if you're playing like a 3rd position. That's summertime. So that's how you bend on a harmonica. I know this video is a little bit longer than I wanted it to be. But if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below on this video. Subscribe, like it, share it with anybody. And most of all, if you have some suggestion for the next video, if there's something you're not aware of, there's something you don't know how to do, or you want to learn, let me know. I'm very open to suggestions. Thank you guys, and see you next time.